Good morning. Time to get on the road. We're heading down to Davie, Florida today. Work on an element, maybe two elements actually. There's two down there, but I don't know if I'm working on both of them or just the one. But got about a 4-hour drive ahead of us. Realistically, we'll probably get there about 10:30, so should be a good time. Hi. I've got about 2 hours to go. I'm at a rest stop. I don't know where exactly. I'm somewhere on I-95 north, south. I'm gonna take a short nap because I'm very tired. Just a quick 20-minute nap. And then we'll be back on the road. Just recline that like so. Cool. Might as well stretch while I'm here. Oh, I kept my lights on that whole time. Hopefully, my battery's not dead. Just kidding. I have a bigger battery than the average battery in the Honda Element. All right, let's keep going. Got another 2 hours. Shouldn't be too bad. Sun's up. We are well rested. I'm telling you, those 20-minute power naps. You'd be surprised at how refreshing they are. Alrighty. Here we are. We're out here right by Miami, actually. One of my longest trips I've ever made yet. Wasn't too bad, about 5 hours of driving. Life of a mobile mechanic. So that is the Honda Element that we are working on today. So let's get cracking and get some stuff fixed, taken care of. As you guys know, I am a Honda Element specialist, so let's get into it. And this is my toolbox. I have a bunch of magnetic lights on the top and stuff. And then lumbar support, impact on my tools. I got my 19 on there because that's what I historically use. Just miscellaneous stuff. 1/4 inch electric ratchet, 3/8 inch electric ratchet. So pretty straightforward. I gotta go through this thing and figure out exactly what parts we have and what we're doing, and go from there. Biggest things I see young guys my age not doing is not wearing proper lumbar support. That's why all the older mechanics are hunched over and crippled, because they don't wear lumbar support. If you're going to be doing a job that requires you to lean over an engine bay all day, wear lumbar support, please. All right. Another pro tip for you: get these little magnetic hooks I get these from Harbor Freight, and then just stick them on the car somewhere. I like to stick mine right there, hang the keys on them, and then boom, you have a nice secure spot. The keys aren't going to fall. You know where the keys are. You don't, not going to lock the keys inside the car, stuff like that. So, all right, we've already got the hitch on the back, the tow hitch on the back. That's pretty self-explanatory. I believe we have a radiator. Should have brought a hat. I don't know if I brought a hat. It's hot. Hopefully it doesn't rain. So we have a radiator, an alternator, an air filter, power steer or washer fluid pump, mounts, headline, valve gasket, connections for VVT Solenoid Assembly, and then 2 VVT Solenoid Assemblies. But I actually want to show you guys this first. So if we look at this, okay, the first one is a genuine Honda part, 15810-RAA-A03, right? Genuine Honda part. See it. It says right there. Genuine Honda parts, right there. Okay? And then we've got this one. Genuine Honda parts, 15810-RAA-A03. Genuine Honda parts, but right here, see that? Made in Japan. So these are both genuine Honda VVT solenoid assemblies made for the 2003 to 2011 Honda Elements, but I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. I have to move you into the sun a little bit here. This one has a black gasket. See that? I don't want to open it because this isn't the one I'm going to use. This one has a black gasket, and then it's also marked, I don't know how well it's going to come across, right there. It's marked Kine. Okay. That doesn't mean it's not genuine Honda. This is still a genuine Honda part. This is not a ripoff. This is not a scam. That's a genuine Honda part. Kine makes a lot of the Honda parts. However, this one is from Japan. There's two things that tell me this. A lot of people argue about this, but here's the short and skinny of it. This is a real Japanese-made Honda Element part, and I'll tell you why. One, there's no stamp right there. See how there's no Kine right there? Kine, however you say it, okay? You got the P and E down there in the middle, and then the biggest tell right there. Brown gasket, see that? See how the gasket's brown? In Japan, they use a Vuitton type brown style gasket. It's oil resistant, very durable. You'll find these on a lot of early 2000 miles K-series motors. Boom, brown right there. That tells me that this is a Japanese made part from Japan. So this is the one we're going to be installing on this car today. But we got all the motor mounts, power steering pump, alternator, whole bunch of stuff. Whole bunch of stuff. So we're just going to start taking stuff apart, I reckon. So we are doing the power steering pump, the alternator down there, the radiator, upper, and it's down there in the middle, but lower radiator hose, valve cover, gasket replacement, as well as valve adjustment. We're also doing the VVT solenoid assembly, which is that bad boy right now. There's also a serpentine kit somewhere. One of these boxes is a serpentine kit. Oh, that. I think this has a tensioner maybe. So we'll be doing that. We'll also be doing all of the motor mounts. That one, the one in the front. There's a transmission mount right there that this doesn't want to focus on because it's too dark. Oh, come on. There it is, right down there. So, yep, perfect. That's the transmission mount. Then there's one more engine mount way in the very bottom right. There. There it is. That one's gonna be hard to get to. And then there's also a rear diff mount. But I don't know, is this all-wheel drive? This is not all-wheel drive, so he does not have a rear diff. On all-wheel drive models, there's a rear diff mount right there. This one doesn't have it, which is fine. But we're also going to be putting on this hitch. So I need to get to work because I have a lot of work ahead of me, and I need to stop dilly-dallying and start doing the dang thing. Yeah, see that? Look at that. That is all from that power steering pump that is just shredding that freaking belt, dude. Ugh, yucky. Not afraid to cry every once in a while. There's the old Radiator coming out. Still recording? How do I tell? Hello? Oh yeah, still recording. Anyways, so one thing that I see guys do all the time that really pisses me off is whenever they're replacing the serpentine belt, they will cut it off. Even if this one, like I can tell this one is definitely old, aged, worn. Don't cut the belt off. You don't know if you're gonna need it. You don't know if the client has the right belt. You don't know. You don't know. It's literally that easy. You just don't know. And if you don't know, and you cut that belt off, and they don't have the right belt, or something goes wrong, or I don't know, anything can happen, and you got to put that belt either back on, or the client still wants that belt, or they wanted it for something else or something. Like, it just, I don't know, it just makes you look like a fool, an absolute buffoon, when in reality you could look like a hero. Oh, where's my serpentine belt toolkit? Yeah, bird. And power steering fluid. All right, we're gonna take that tensioner, remove it, get that belt off. That belt is shot, gone, has left the chat. Everything is saturated in power steering fluid. Love that for me. Love that for me. It's okay. It's not even that big a deal. I'm not even stressed about it. Freaking hate power steering fluid. Like, I don't know, this is a controversial opinion, but my two of my most hated fluids in a vehicle in general are the power steering fluid and coolant. And it's because it gets on everything, and it's yucky, and it's just, I don't like it. I don't like it, all right? I don't know what you want from me. I don't like it. We're gonna take this power steering hose off. It's just a 10 mil here on the bottom. Save it. You don't know if you're gonna need it for the new one. When I pop this off, this is gonna leak a little bit of power steering fluid, but I'll just raise it up. And now it won't because I have it higher than the reservoir. So, God, dude, I should have brought a freaking towel. My God. They said for $20. Could you pay me in Birmingham? Anyways, there's a 12 right here, and then there's one directly underneath the lower pressure hose. If you don't know where that is, I'm sorry. Use your imagination. I've done so many of these, I don't really have to look to see where it's at anymore. I just kind of know where it's at. Good God. Oh, you would not hit the ground right after I lose my long magnet thing that I don't know what I did with it. I can't tell if I took it inside or if I left it in here. Gosh, freaking dang it. I think it's in my pants at home. You would do that. You would do that. I can't believe you've done this. Look at that, you guys. Oh my God. Yeah, so good thing we're doing the alternator, because it's pretty bad. Good Lord. Okay. Come out freely. Good God. Yeah. You guys think they were having an issue with the alternator at all? Maybe? All right. Slide our alternator in. All right. Same deal. We're gonna just reverse the order. Anyways, old versus new. That's insane. Something cracked internally on that power steering pump for it to leak that much fluid. I've never seen a power steering pump like that fail on a Honda Element. Something definitely failed exponentially on that. So we have the two radiators here. We just want to verify, you know, transmission line connection, drain, sensor hole, transmission line, lower inlet, upper inlet, connection, and then all the mounting holes, as well as the spots for the fans on the bottom of the new one. Everything is right, everything looks appropriate. There's a small amount of damage, right? Yeah, but that's kind of unavoidable. Now, one thing I want you guys to notice, the O-ring on this has completely, come on. The O-ring has completely deteriorated on this to the point it is just completely flat and failed. So we're gonna take that off there and put a new one on. All right, we now have a new O-ring on there. You guys can see that. So we're gonna get this screwed into place. And again, we don't wanna ridiculously tighten this thing down because we don't wanna break anything. And if you guys hose it around too much, you will break something. Unfortunately, I see this all the time. People do this and they end up breaking either the housing here at the bottom or the sensor itself. So what I like to do is get as close a feel to, like, I don't grab on the wrench way out here because that's going to give me way too much leverage and I can just freaking hank on this thing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to grab real close to the actual radiator itself, turn until I feel it get a little tighter, and then there we go. Got a nice good seal around there. That's ready to go. All right, so we have the new power steering pump, the new alternator, the new, oh, come on, focus, there we go, the new tensioner right there. We have the new radiator. The fans are put in, everything's hooked up appropriately with all the hoses. We're about to bleed it. Reservoir's put in and filled up, cleaned. I'm just about to put the belt on now. Once I put the belt on, before I start it and prep the system, I am gonna go ahead, remove this valve cover, do the valve adjustment, replace the valve cover gasket, and go from there. So should be a pretty good time. Okay, we've got all of our connections off here, and then we're just going to grab a very soft metal pry bar, literally like the smallest pry bar I have. We're just gonna stick it right here. There is evidence that someone has done a valve adjustment on this before, as the 4 spots where the RTV goes, which is right here, 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 and here, is not the Honda Bond gray that it should be. It's black, which means that someone used an aftermarket RTV, which is fine, not a huge deal, but it is one of those things. You don't have to use the original Honda OEM, but it is something that helps. All right, now we're just gonna pop this bad boy off here. There we are. Not too bad. Looks like they actually missed putting the RTV in this back corner right here, which is likely where the client was complaining that it was leaking from. This RTV also doesn't seem very old at all. It's still very soft and malleable. When RTV gets old, it gets super, super brittle and hard. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, see those 2 little notches? Right there on the 2 sprockets? There we go. See right there and there, see how they're pointing each other? So this is the starting position, and this tells you that cylinder 1 is at top dead center. So keep that in mind, and I'll show you guys how we're going to do this moving forward. See that? So you want 0.008 millimeters to 0.010 millimeters. And the way that we do that is you have to have these angled ones. You can't have flat ones. You have to have the angled ones. We're going to start with the 0.08, and we're going to come in and we're going to get it right underneath that first one. And I can move it pretty freely, so that's good. And we're going to skip to the 0.010, and it should be a lot harder to move, and it is, and it's catching. It's definitely not flowing as freely as it should. But to the 0.009, that feels good. So on most of the K24A4 and the K24A8 engines that I do, I typically find that the inlets are not too bad as long as they've had recent valve adjustments. The inlets are usually, or the intakes, I'm sorry, the intakes are usually not that bad. And these ones feel good. These ones feel very good. It's usually the exhaust side that, it's usually the exhaust side that is needing adjusting because they get very tight over time. But these feel good. I like these. I'm actually going to take a picture of the engine for the client because everyone likes seeing the inside of their engine. And as you can see here, I have the feeler gauges for that. 0.011 millimeter to 0.013 millimeters. And this one is a little trickier because you really have to know the angle to get and feel, to get the feeler gauge. What I do is I actually look through it, and it's way too tight. I can't even get the 0.011 in there. Yeah. That's pretty standard. That's what I expected. That's well within spec, well within expectations. So we have our old valve gasket here that we're going to be taking off. Surface looks pretty clean. Gasket looks pretty good. It's not ridiculously worn. You can tell where the RTV was, so overall not too bad. Nothing of note there. Nothing that's gonna pop out at me and be like, hey, pay attention to this, you know what I'm saying? So first thing we're gonna do is pop out these seals right here, as the client did order all new ones. So we have a new valve gasket seal. There's the part number, made in Japan. And then we have 4 seals. There's the part number there, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, those 4. And then we've got those silver things that I popped off at the very beginning. We got a bunch of new ones of those. There's the part number for those as well. There's 6 of them. So we're gonna get all these taken care of. This client definitely likes OEM stuff, so that's good. Again, you guys do not have to use official Honda bond. Honda does recommend it, but it is not required. You do not have to use exactly Honda bond, but I'll show you the 4 spots you need to put it. Now, this is not negotiable, regardless of what brand of RTV you're using, whether it be Honda bond or Permatex or whatever. This is non-negotiable. You have to put it in these 4 spots. The first spot being right here, second spot being back here, third this corner, and the fourth is that one right there. So we're just going to squeeze an amount right there, an amount right there. You don't need a lot, just a little. Just like that. All right, cool. And then something I like to do that Phoenix taught me is I'll put a little dollop right there. Do not have to put it on the plastic. Put it anywhere. But I like to put a little dollop there, and then that will be my timer. So I know when that's set that I'm good. Okay, so just to recap, we've done power steering pump, alternator, tensioner, radiator, valve adjustment, valve gasket, spark plugs, VVT assembly connectors, and I think that's it. So pretty good. I'm probably going to be replacing this side motor mount over here. I want to look what the rest of them look like. Because if they need done, I have them, but I'm not just going to replace them just to charge the dude money. That's dumb. This side one definitely needs to be replaced. It's saturated with oil and stuff, power steering fluid. Ready. Oh, buddy. Sounds like an absolute dream. New belt's running beautifully. Tensioner's running beautifully. Power steering fluid's running beautifully. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes being a mobile mechanic means things don't go right. I should have been done about 2 hours ago, but this is the pulley off of the new power steering pump. I'm sorry, off of the new tensioner. And I don't know how well it's gonna show up, but it's not flat. See that little lip right there? At the very tippy top? It's not flat all the way up and down. I don't know how well that's coming. It's coming across pretty well, actually. See that? Don't buy cheap parts, because when you buy cheap parts, your mechanic has to put it in and then take it out, and it gives them a bunch of trouble. And guess what? You still get charged for it because you supplied the parts. If I had supplied the parts, I wouldn't be charging him for this. But he's getting charged to put in a new tensioner, and he's not getting a new tensioner because he supplied the parts. See, this is the part of being a mobile mechanic that no one talks about. You just got crap on crap on crap, and I'm tired, I'm hungry, I have a 5-hour drive home. All my parts are destroyed. I'm not putting any of this away appropriately. I'm gonna put my tablet up so that I don't crush it, because I'm not an idiot, I'm just frustrated. Yeah, this is the part that, this is the not so glamorous part that no one tells you about. I'm ready to not be here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose when it comes to being a mobile mechanic. I'm not saying I lost today, because I didn't, and I never lose. But I'm not saying I won either. Well, it's about 9:40, 9:45-ish. We were just about to get to Bussy's in Daytona. I decided to split up the drive. So, about 3 hours from near Miami to Daytona. I got about an hour and a half drive home. About an hour and a half drive home. So, we're going to stop, get myself some sarsaparilla, because I love sarsaparilla. And it's the only place that I know where I can get sarsaparilla is at Buc-ee's. So, we're going to get a brisket burrito, sarsaparilla. Might even get 2 things of sarsaparilla, quite frankly, because I love sarsaparilla. Like, I'm not even kidding, guys. I love sarsaparilla.